the shadows, down low. You don't know what I'm going through, don't know what I'm going through. It's down low, down low. You don't know what I'm going through, don't know what I'm going.
Hey, what's good, TPL Nation? Welcome back for another draft analysis. And today, people, we have the one and only Savannah Sharpedos, coached by Anthony, aka Sharpie Plays, aka Kecleon in Pokemon Go, aka Semi Hater, a man of many names and a man of many threats. So let's get right into it. I'm not going to talk about this too much because I already did this draft analysis video, but due to technical difficulties, I wasn't able to get it out yesterday. But today, people, we have Gyarados. Gyarados is super strong, super good. I just have a Weakness Policy Moxie set with Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Power Whip, and Bounce. A lot of this stuff is situational, so it might not all come on the same set, obviously. But Gyarados is super strong, being his premier Dynamax. I have no doubt. It gets plenty of coverage moves, dragon moves, ground moves, fire moves. It gets the fangs. I'm pretty sure it gets Psychic Fang as well, so it might get Mind Storm. Actually, it looks like it doesn't, so unfort. But it gets plenty of stuff. It gets electric moves. Gyarados gets a lot of interesting moves, plenty to use in like a Dynamax setting, Dynamax format. It has access to Dragon Dance, which is super threatening. It doesn't have the best speed at 81, but I feel like it really comes through with a lot of other moves that it can have to help it out. We obviously saw Scale Shot there, really good move there. Obviously, Gyarados is going to put in a lot of work this season. It did a lot of work last season on Brooks' team, but I feel like we'll definitely see Gyarados live up to its reputation as the atrocious Pokemon. Now, as we move on, I think we have a Sleep Dynamaxer on his team in the form of Kingdra here, and Kingdra is really good. I think with Max Geyser, it's really good to set up its own rain for the Swift Swim ability, so that gives it a really good edge. It's basically like a little bit bulkier Barraskewda. It's a little less strong, but I think with Life Orb and Swift Swim, it'll still be doing a ton of damage. Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam, like this is fine. This is a fine moveset right here. You know, you could see other things come out from this thing. I doubt we'll see Clear Smog on Kingdra, but just as we move down, we do see the Flash Cannon right here for a Max Steel Spike could come out. We do have Ice Beam from Max Hail. As we move down, there's not too much other stuff it can use. But definitely don't sleep on Anthony's fire movesets. We do see Yawn and Toxic on here. You never know what could come out from the opposing Kingdra with moves like that. Maybe an opposing Yawn would be super niche, but also super interesting if it comes out in the right situations. We do see Scale Shot again. Not really useful for the attack on Kingdra, but more so that speed boost if it needed it outside of Swift Swim. But I really like Kingdra because it's not super dependent on the rain set or a Polytote, which we're about to get into. It's really good at setting up its own rain and abusing the Swift Swim ability with a Dynamax. And you know, there are other sets you can run on Kingdra. I'm pretty sure Kingdra does get Dragon Dance. It does get the Focus Energy Sniper set, so Critdra can definitely be a thing that comes out outside of rain and do just fine. But next up we have Polytote. Polytote is super annoying. It has just enough bulk to take a few hits, as well as having a decent defensive type in water, being only weak to 2 types plus freeze dry. But I just have Protect, Scald, Toxic, and Ice Beam because I feel like this set can be really annoying for like predicting what the opponent's going to do. As well as just setting up the rain for the team. Like pretty standard support set. You could run a ton of other things on this. Obviously it does get Earth Power, it does get Psychic, it does get Focus Blast, so very interesting moves there. Haze is always nice to see. Perish Song, Whirlpool for the trap set. This thing does get Belly Drum, even though I don't think we've really seen Anthony run it yet. We might have. Weather Ball is a really nice tech. You could run that over like Surf if you're just looking for damage, because whenever this thing comes out, it's going to have the rain up anyway, so it can get 100 base damage Weather Balls, which I think would be pretty dope. If you're just looking for that extra damage on Polytote, but not a whole lot else. I mean, we do see interesting niche moves like Hypnosis and Icy Wind as we move further down, which could come out. Mind Reader Fissure I know is also a set that he runs, which is, you know, a little controversial, but I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, you know what I'm saying? Whatever gets your dubs for your teams. As we move down, we do see like Sweet Kiss. I doubt that'll come out. The Whirlpool, the aforementioned Whirlpool. Submission would be weird for like the Submission of Strength, maybe for that belly drum set. But yeah, Polytote's here. It's annoying. It's a rain setter. And yeah, there it is. We move on to one of the best Pokemon that Anthony has is Zapdos. I think this is a wonderful defogger on his team. I think we'll see it come a lot of the weeks, the majority of the weeks. I can't imagine him not bringing this. So actually, I think Thunder would be a really good move for this, especially in the rain, being able to fire off those 100% accuracy Thunders, 100% accuracy Hurricanes, as well as Defog and Roost to support the team. So it's a really nice versatile mon in the fact that it can take the offensive role and the defensive role. Of course, Static is one of the best abilities in the game. Contact moves have a 30% chance to para, which is super interesting, super annoying. And we move through some other good moves it can use as well. Ancient Power for maybe a niche move. If he needs a rock move on Zapdos for one thing or another, Extra Sensory is good. Heat Wave could be interesting. The only problem with Zapdos is that you can really fill up its 4 moves really fast. Thunder Wave and U-Turn are there. I like U-Turn just in case your opponent has a ground type you don't want to afford to Volt Switch against. Weather Ball is nice, giving this thing 100 base power water move in the rain, which could be also very powerful and very interesting. But as we move down through, there's a lot of other moves they can use. Not too much now that we've gotten to the useless moves, but you know, I think that's a really good thing for Zapdos. Is like it can be really versatile. It can run a good plethora of moves. The only problem with it is like, yeah, it's got that 4 move syndrome where, you know, you just fill up its moves really quick. But I think Zapdos could be a really good premier defogger if Anthony's expecting like stuff like that to come out. Now, as we move on to one of his more offensive threats, we do see Toxicroak. Now, I really love Toxicroak because it provides a water immunity with dry skin. So, you know, opponents are going to have a hard time taking advantage of Anthony's rain against him because of his dry skin mons, as well as water absorb Polytote. But I doubt that will come out. Very often at least. But I do have Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, and Bulk Up. This Pokemon can be very annoying. I do love the amount of priority it gets with Bulk Up, so it can you know, really be a headache for certain teams. Also, its typing is pretty unique. It's a 4 times weakness to Psychic, which is annoying because a lot more Pokemon than you think get like random Psychic moves. You'd be surprised. But as we move down through, there are plenty of physical moves it can take advantage of. Rock Slide's right there. I know Anthony did mention a special set on Toxicroak. Maybe not the most reliable thing to come out, but it definitely could. Swords Dance is right there as well. If you just want to bulk up faster over bulk up, you could definitely do that. But then overall, you know, it's pretty good. It gets elemental punches, stuff like that. Corrosive Gas could be interesting if you don't want to run knockoff for some reason. But all in all, I think Toxicroak is a pretty sick Pokemon. Very useful. It's not too fast, but honestly, I feel like middle of the way speed tier fighting types are still very strong. They usually get a ton of priority. And all in all, I think Toxicroak's a really good Pokemon, adding that water type immunity as well. It'll also get healing in his own rain, which is pretty sick. Maybe not like maybe that doesn't come in to too much play since Toxicroak isn't the bulkiest thing in the world. Obviously 65 in both defenses, 85 base speed. 106 attack is pretty decent, but like I said, he kind of just want to boost it up with something like a Life Orb, maybe Bulk Up, if he just wants to put out a ton of damage. But then we move on to his premier wall, and this thing is annoying. It is the Cressola. And I just have Strength Sab, Will-O-Wisp, Nightshade, and Stealth Rock on here just for like a little premier, like annoying set that Cressola could run. Crippling physical threats, throwing off chip damage, throwing off hazard damage, being able to recover with Strength Sap. This thing is super annoying. If we take a look at its stats, it's got 100 in both special defense and defense. With Eviolite, that boosts them up to 150 in each stat. If you think about a Pokemon that has similar stats to that, that definitely reminds me of Toxapex. So just when you look at this Pokemon, just be thankful that it doesn't get Regenerator like its Johto counterpart. Then as we move down, I do see other moves it could use. I doubt we'd really see a lot of these come out. Disable and Destiny Bond could be interesting tech moves. Haze definitely as well to stop a sweep if he's expecting something like that to come out. The Will-O-Wisp Hex set could be very interesting. You could run Hex over Nightshade, absolutely. You know, not too much else to use. You know, he does have screens, but I doubt you'd see screens Cressola. I feel like just the amount of moves it takes up, I feel like you definitely want Cressola to at least have like Strength Sap and something else. As we move down, do you see other interesting moves? Surf could be an interesting tech move just because it'll be boosted in the rain. It's not too strong, but with that rain boost, you could see it get some pretty decent chip on some Pokemon. Amnesia could come out, but I doubt it, and we'll see. Move down through, Harden could be interesting. Harden and Amnesia could be honestly very annoying, the Harden Amnesia set. And I know y'all are like probably like, what is this man talking about? But Anthony can really run. Anthony, one of his strengths is really diving into his Pokemon's full moveset. So I feel like certain sets that he could run that other people would just brush off can really take people by surprise. And I think Anthony's playstyle is more of like a high risk, high reward in that sense. It's like he may not use the most standard sets, but at the same time his sets could catch the opponent by surprise where they might not be thinking. Obviously Cresola's main weakness really is like taunt. It's really taunt bait most of the time, especially with moves like these. So we could see Cressola come out week to week, I have no doubt. It is a pretty good synergy with the team, being able to soak up most hits for the rest of the team, most electric type hits and grass type hits. It's going to shrug off like a champ. As we move on to the next one, we have Jinx. Now Jinx is okay. I don't really have an item for Jinx. You could run Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Leftovers if you really wanted to. It does provide another water immunity with Dry Skin, which is interesting for that passive healing. The main weakness to Jinx is it has 35 defense. Now, to put that into perspective, what 35 defense means, Alakazam has a higher defense stat than that. Like, Jinx is really not going to be taking that many hits for Anthony, even with the 95 SPDEF and the 65 HP. I feel like Jinx is just it's just really not that bulky. And with 95 base speed, you can definitely tell that this was more of a late pick for Anthony's team. But that doesn't mean he can't put in work. I just have the Ice Beam, Psychic, Nasty Plot, and Shadow Ball set. Pretty just standard like Nasty Plot 3 attacks. As we move down, it can get some other things like Blizzard, some niche things like Energy Ball, Grass Knot, Fake Out. Heal Bell for a Cleric on the team could be interesting. Hyper Voice. As we move down through, it does get Light Screen, we see right there. I didn't see Reflect earlier, so that could be interesting. We do see Perish Song, and if we know anything about Anthony, he does like his Perish Song, so that could definitely come out on this thing, possibly to trap a Pokemon. As we move down, not too much else. Substitute is nice, Teleport's nice, possibly. That's kind of it from this. You definitely don't want to see Jinx passing Wishes with its 65 base HP. As we keep moving down, I mean, it does have Charm, which is nice. Draining Kiss could be interesting to hit the fighting types for at least some damage. You're probably not going to live after, but hey, it's there. Keep moving down. Future Sight's really nice to force the opponent to switch out. Also giving a big damage if the opponent doesn't have a switch in for that. Move down, Icy Wind is pretty good. Yo, why is Icy Wing not a move? Yo, give me Staraptor with Icy Wing. But if we keep moving down, like there's some other things it can use, but not a whole lot. It is a potential rain setter with Rain Dance. I could definitely see him bringing this for like a backup plan if he really is relying on the rain from week to week. But rain isn't a big win condition for his team. Like I said, the only real Pokemon on his team that really like hugely benefits from rain, I feel like, is Kingdra. I feel like while Gyarados and Zapdos and the dry skin users do get some utility from rain, I feel like it's not as impactful to the success of those Pokemon, whereas Kingdra, it might be a little bit more just because of his 85 base speed, leaving something to desired on Kingdra. But all in all, I think this team is pretty good. We're going to move into the last spot, and it is Mesprit. And I'm not sure how I feel about the double Psychic towards the end of the team. I mean, that's coupling with Cressola. That's 3 Pokemon that don't really want to take a knockoff. Like, he does have other Pokemon to take knockoffs, like Toxicroak. But to be honest, not too many Pokemon, just in general, not even just on this team, but not too many Pokemon in general want to just come in and take a knockoff for the rest of the team. unless it's resisted at least. So take that with what you will. As we look through Mesprit's stats, it's okay all around. I feel like this is kind of like just a meh Lake Spirit, to be honest. You know, I already highlighted a Zelf, and I'm sure I'll get to Uxie one of these days. But it's just, you know, something to be desired. I have Calm Mind 3 attacks with Colbur just because I feel like it does kind of like knockoff. I feel like is a solid bring against Anthony's team in general. It's a good move, so I get that. It does give him an Earthquake weakness, which you know, isn't too big. He already has Zapdos and Gyarados, so it's not a big deal. But as we move through his moveset, we do see quite a deep moveset: Nasty Plot, Screens, Knockoff. So this definitely could do a lot of different things, but I feel like all in all, it's just going to be doing things worse than other things that do these things. You know what I'm saying? Stealth Rock could be nice. Stored Power could be interesting, but I don't see this Pokemon getting enough boost to purely use Stored Power. That would be kind of insane. Thunder Wave could cripple with like status. Thunderbolt, so yeah, Thunder and Ice Beam, I already gave it like that stuff. You could run Thunderbolt, obviously, in case it's outside of rain. U-turn could be nice just to pivot around stuff. I didn't see Teleport, honestly, which is unfortunate for it. But move down through, we do see Charm. It definitely has some things it can do, to be annoying. I feel like this would almost be better for just statusing the opponent and really annoying the opponent. But yeah, it's got a deep moveset, so definitely I think Anthony can find some utility out of this. I actually like this Pokemon a little bit better than Jinx, just because this Pokemon might actually be able to take a hit. So Mesprit could be really annoying. It brings a Stealth Rocker to the table, which is nice outside of Cressola. So he doesn't necessarily have to run rocks on Cressola if he doesn't want to. So all in all, the team's nice. I think I'm just going to go ahead and rank it like an 8. And I'm actually going to give it, and that's a little bit higher than I was thinking normally, but honestly I'm going to give this team like an extra half point just because I wholeheartedly believe that it doesn't need rain to function at all. But when rain is up, this team is very dangerous, so definitely don't sleep on that if you are the opponent of this team. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next video. You guys have a good one. I've been Ace Trainer Ryan. Peace.